Hey, it's Mike. I'm here. I am back, ready to do some Hare Krishna stuff. All right, let's see who's here. Dagmar, hey. Uh, hey, guys. So I made the talk yesterday. Today I have a second episode with him. That's great. I'm glad you did that. Um, yes, absolutely. Share, Greg. Glad to see that you're here. Man, I'm so excited. There's so many people here. 6781. Glad to see that you're here, man. This is great. And Eliana, I think Eliana is going to be the number one candidate for being a monitor. Good to see you here. N, good to see N here. And of course, the one and only fake human. Fake human one, fake human. Great to see you here. High five. I got a lot of stuff I want to get to if I can remember after going through all those introductions. I do want to get right to the intro and come right back and get on with this. All right.
Hello?
Hello.
All right. So, hey, pause. Great to see you here. Hold on to your hats. Hold on to your hat. Hold on to your hats. And yes, we're chasing after Kiwi and the cops chasing. All right. So let's check this out. Okay. I'm just going to cut right into this because I thought it was pretty funny. And let's see. Who do we have here? Oh, my goodness.
You say, all right, Krishna. The Christians may think that that Krishna is a devil. This is because of just misinformation. Now, Uddhava asked a question. This is in the 11th or 12th canto. I forgot exactly where. But Uddhava said, "How do I know who is a real Vaishnava? Who is your real devotee? How do I know that? Because the Vedas, I can't even understand it clearly through the Vedas. You tell me, make it more clear." So what does Krishna say? The essence of the truth.
This guy. Hey, Prabhunuts, good to see you here. Okay, yeah, so check this out. So that was our friend Gaurahari. That's this guy. That was 2010, so that's 16 years ago. That was this guy 16 years ago. And here he is today.
Ram Ram Hari Hari Shri Krishna Chaitanya 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 Nityananda 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 Shri.
That's the mental illness. That's the mental illness of 20, 30 years in this bullshit. 20, 30 years in this bullshit, you end up like this guy. I'm telling you, you end up like this guy.
Krishna Chaitanya Shri 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 Krishna Chaitanya Sri Krishna.
He. Okay, so check it out. So he was brainwashed by Prabhupada. He was brainwashed by Prabhupada into this chanting, this bullshit, and these books and these stories and all this crap for 20, 30 years. He was brainwashed into this. Then he has a dream that he's a guru now. So now he's brainwashed himself into thinking that he's some kind of guru, and he's gonna, he's gonna pull the same shit on other people that was pulled on him. And I don't know. He's got to know. I don't know if he knows. This is the hard thing. Is you gotta. So, uh, but you know that's the insanity. And I wanted to. I don't have knitting cold lady today, but you know this is because he is like he is so brainwashed. He is so brainwashed that he's brainwashing himself, and he's believing this crap. It's not. It's just. It's insanity. I can't. There's no other word. I don't know of any other word. Brainwashed into mental illness. Brainwashed him, and now he thinks he's a guru. It's mental illness. Let me see. I had a video, and I don't know what happened. I wanted to, because I got all, I try to get them in order, and then something comes up, and I'm like, oh, or Rafael will send me something, and I'll be, ooh, and then my order of video gets, it gets kind of messed up here, and okay, here it is. Okay, here it is. So it was out of order, but I want you to see this because this is pretty much how I feel. Almost exactly how this guy explains it. And I'm not, you know, I'm not a big fan of this guy. He pops up a lot of times in my feed. I've seen his videos before, but I don't want to get into a big thing about this guy. But he has a lot of good things to say right here, and I wanted to share it, and I'll talk about it.
We've had a number of conversations about religion and religious figures on my various social media accounts. And in case you don't know where I stand, if you're new to my page, I'm what you would probably call an agnostic atheist, in that I cannot prove that there is no God, no devil, no heaven, no hell, no soul, no afterlife. But I'm really, really, really sure there isn't one. If I had to bet my life on it, I'd say that there isn't one. And my wife is a believer. She's not a regular churchgoer. She's not a Bible thumper, but she is a believer in Christ. But she's a believer in Christ who doesn't believe that a hell exists. So, I mean, you know, she has her sets of beliefs. I have mine. We have coexisted for 30 years. All of our children are baptized. They all have godparents, so forth and so on. So if you believe and it helps you be a better person, I'm of the opinion, believe. If you believe and it gets you through hard times, then believe. If you believe and it means that you're going to be a better human being to your fellow, you know, men and women in your neighborhood, then, you know, believe. Do whatever you got to do. Just don't push your beliefs on other people. You know, that's where I stand.
Okay.
You don't get to make law.
Okay, so that's pretty much how I pretty much agree with him pretty much up to here. And not like I don't approve, but up to here so far I'm pretty much okay. All right, buddy.
For all of us based on your religious beliefs. Having said all of that, we then cross into the other realm, and we've seen people like Kenneth Copeland. I'm going to show you a video of Kenneth Copeland here in a minute. We've seen people like Kenneth Copeland over the decades, the scammers, the absolute con artists in the religious world, who grift and take and leech off of the people in their congregation, the people in their community, based on what I believe to be a lie. Now, if Kenneth Copeland actually believes the shit that he is saying and doing in this video, then in my opinion, he's insane and should be treated as an insane person. If this is all an act, then he's an evil person. But in my opinion, those are the only two things it can be. He's either clinically insane or certifiably evil.
Okay, so I'm totally in agreement with him right now as well. So I pretty much agree with everything he said up to this point. I pretty much agree. I believe that these people are they're either bewildered or they're evil. They're insane or evil. There's really no other explanation for it.
The enemy can speak to me just death, or that I should take my life when times of great loneliness. I just get really lonely.
With Jesus in the room?
Fucking weird.
You get lonely? Come on, man.
You're right.
Leave him alone, Satan, in the name of Jesus. My God, don't you
That's
touch him
crazy.
again. You shut your mouth.
That's just insane. If he believes it, he's crazy. And he has no business leading other people. And if he doesn't believe it, then it's all an act in order to grift his congregation. Then he has no business leading other people. I have long wondered if the people who do shit like that, or speak in tongues and gyrate throughout the church, if they actually believe that shit. Or if it is all an act. But either way, this guy has no business being around you.
So I'm just glad that he said it, because that's how I feel. That this guy knows. These guys know. This guy knows. These guys know that it's bullshit. And if they don't know that it's bullshit, then they're insane. They're insane. These guys are insane. Let me see what happened here.
Nityananda, Sri Krishna Chaitanya. Sri Krishna Chaitanya, 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 Sri Krishna Chaitanya.
That's mental. Him thinking he's slipping into this crying and laughing and crying is no different than that guy thinking he's healing that guy or he's driving demons out. This Bhakti Vakash thinking he's going to become a ghost because if he might say something bad about a pedophile, and Hridayananda with they're no different. They're all the same. It's insanity. They either know it's bullshit or it's insanity. There's no other way. There just isn't. Hey, great to see you here. Great to see you here. Elena, yeah, I think you might have to become a moderator because I can't. I love all the comments. I want to talk to everybody. Being spiritual with meditation practice and goodness without superstition rituals is happy and healthy. Yeah, I think that's the best way to put it. I think that's the best way to put it because, really, you know, I walked up. I was at this market today, and I walked up to this guy had these little dogs that he was selling. They were like little chihuahuas, and these other little puppies, you know, and they were really cute, and they were small, and they were so friendly. And they walked up, and they just wanted to. I wanted to take them home. They wanted to come home with me. I wanted to take them home, and it was just this exchange between me and this puppy, this little puppy. It was, you know, it was almost spiritual because we were like connecting on the and I know it's like sounds stupid, and in a way it is kind of stupid, but I'm just saying, you know, if you want to say something spiritual, why isn't that spiritual? Why didn't me and the puppy connect on a spiritual level? I think we did, because that's what I was thinking. I was like, wow, I was like, you know, why isn't this spiritual? Me and this little puppy, because he was totally, and he's like that with everybody because he's a puppy, you know, and I'm like that with every dog because I love dogs. So, and I can't have one right now. So I just see dogs and I'm just like, oh yeah. But it was a really little, I wanted to take that dog home, man. So if anything can be spiritual, why isn't that spiritual? You know, you're supposed to see, Krishna says, supposed to see dogs, dog lover, dog eater, Brahmin, elephant, whatever, everybody, equal vision. So what was, and I think what's wrong with that. You know, I didn't have to be all superstitious to have a connection with that dog. That's as spiritual as anything. That's as spiritual as anything else. You know, and anyway, it's just, you know, you don't have to do all these superstitious stuff to love God. Like, don't eat grains on Wednesday and Friday, whatever, twice a month because the demons get in the grain. I mean, come on, what is that? What purpose is that serving? Other than trying to control your mind and control your actions and give you guilt and whatever. It's crazy. Ancient civilization beliefs were simple. Soul exists once you die. You go back to the spirit realm to be with the gods in heaven. Yeah, and a lot of them, they like buried stuff with you. They thought you were going. They thought you were just going. You were continuing on. They put your chariot in there and your shoes. Everything you were going to need in the next life. They're like, let's stick everything in there with him because obviously he's going to need this stuff. You know, that's what people believe. And, you know, hey, okay, that's what they, but you want me to live like that now? And even today, you know, they go, well, they buried this guy, you know, they buried that guy with his guitar, or they buried that guy in his favorite pair of shoes, or they buried him in his car. You know, what's the difference? That's no different. I mean, they're burying the pharaoh. He had his favorite chair, and they're burying people in their favorite whatever with his guitar, his favorite whatever pair of drums or whatever they put. People do that. Insane in the membrane. Yeah, and you know, and that's what this cult is, you know. Prabhupada was right about one thing. ISKCON is a mental hospital. Yeah, he tried to convince everybody that the material world is the mental hospital. No, dude, you're in the mental hospital. You know, the sense of love and spiritual bonds are not reliant on occult personality worship. And you don't have to be a fanatic. You know, you can just, and that's why I say, like, it was so, like, just like this guy was saying in the video. You're like, if you want to love God, if you want to worship a deity, and it helps you with your mind, clear your mind, and you know, I don't think you're a fool for doing that. But you know, if you think that deity is going to get up and walk somewhere when you turn your back, and it's going to get up and tingle, 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 walk away, you know, then I got to think. Or if you think that there was some statue somewhere that got up and walked away, or tinkle, 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 then I got a question. But if you find, you know, if you like reading stories and it makes you happy, and doing this stuff makes you happy, and do it. I do this. I go to temples and visit stuff all the time with my girlfriend, but we're not. And she's kind of superstitious. You know, she's in her culture. She's kind of superstitious, but it doesn't affect our lives. It doesn't affect our lives. Like, we don't have to put on a uniform. We don't have to do like special little things in order to get through our day, or chant certain song, none of that. You know, we just enjoy life. Okay, so Don, hey Don, great to see you here. And who else did I pass it? Anybody? I don't think so. Yeah, yeah, exactly. That's what I was saying. I couldn't have said it better. So let me see. Where am I here? I think I want to keep that video because that could come in handy later. So okay. So one thing I wanted to mention was, oh boy. Before I get to this guy. Okay, so one thing I was talking about was this how Hare Krishnas, they feel like karma. It's your karma. Everything's your karma. So they don't really care. Because your destiny. It was your destiny to be whatever happens to you, fucked up thing happens to you, that's your karma. It's Kali Yuga. It's your karma. You're lucky that's all that happened. That's their attitude. That's why they don't give a fuck when you get sick. No, you're not the body, Prabhu. Get up and go. Get up and do your service. Your service. Don't give a fuck. And they don't care. It's like they didn't give a shit when my wife passed away. They didn't give a shit. They all got together because they wanted to just sit around and talk about Prabhupada and glorify Prabhupada's books and all of this stuff. And it really came out when my wife passed away. My wife wasn't a devotee. She had nothing to do with Prabhupada. She had nothing to do with Krishna. And they wanted to have a little program for my wife, but it just turned into another preaching program for them. And it had nothing to do with me or my wife or her passing away or nothing. And I found it to be cold and it was just unloving and it was just Christian. Spirituality does not equal mass psychosis, distribution of right. Exactly, exactly. So, but they get it so twisted up. They're so twisted. These people, so twisted. This people. So this guy. So first, oh my God. First, I wanted to show. I'm glad it's on the same page. So, I'm not going to show the video, but on this pod page where he talks about. Okay, so he mentions this woman that makes these Krishna videos. I guess she's from Russia or somewhere. And I guess, she's living in Vrindavan or living in Mayapur. I think she's living in Vrindavan. She got 2 little kids, and I think a husband. And she's been doing these videos for a while now. And I guess she's sick. And this is what he says. This is what he says. A very young mother who is at the cancer hospital. Sorry, folks. I believe that offering food to deviated people contaminates the food and causes ill effects. My ex-witch devotee lady, I don't know what that means. My ex-witch devotee lady confirms this. Offering food to deviated people would make the people ingesting that food suffer ill results, and it is affecting many devotees or even affecting the whole ISKCON society wholesale. So this devotee woman, and as much as I don't like this pedophile cult, and I don't like anything about it, this woman's got cancer, and I don't want to see anybody get cancer. I don't want to see anybody suffer. I don't want to see her kids suffer. They're suffering enough in this cult. I mean, I talk a lot of shit about this cult, but God damn it, a woman having cancer, you got 2 kids, even if she's in this cult. I feel sorry for her. I feel, I don't want anything to happen to her. I was like, he's like, sorry, folks, I believe offering food to deviated people contaminate. He's got nothing nice to say. All he wants to say is that, yeah, this lady's been offering food to one of these gurus or whoever, and so naturally she's sick, and now she's got cancer. Now that's what she gets. That's his attitude. That's how these people think. It goes right along with that attitude of like, oh, you're sick. I don't want nothing to do with you. I'm going to Mangalarti. Or just get up and do your service anyway. Why are you complaining that you're sick? You're not the body. Not only are you not the body, if anything happens to your body, well, it's your fault anyway. So why should I care? He's like, sorry, folks. And basically what he's saying is, sorry, folks, I don't have to care about this woman. That's what he's saying. Because I believe that offering food to deviated people contaminates the food and well, who cares what you think? You can't even have something nice to say about someone who's suffering. That's how these people are. And this is a movement of love and loving God and on a higher level. And these are holy men. This guy calls himself Paranjan Das, a disciple of Prabhupada. This is how they think. And then he says, in sum, offering food to deviated people is a satanic practice, and it will make people suffer, and it is. I feel very sad for the victims. They just have no idea what is sattvic offering and what is not. She has 2 lovely little kids, and if she's gone, they are going to suffer. I cannot help but notice none of the big ISKCON authorities ever mention anything about this. This is the attitude of these people. What makes people think like this and act like this? Or he could be just so cold. He could just be so cold to another devotee because he doesn't like who this person's guru or something, even when this person gets cancer. Are you going to tell me that they're preaching love of God? They're going to sit there and preach about love of God? And that this chanting makes you something? You got to be out of your mind. And then, while I'm on the subject, because I'm on this page, that's what I'm saying. These people are insane. These people are insane. You think they're holy men, holy this or that? Because they follow this fucking prick. This guy says, he says, this is another little thing that he wrote. He says, many or most, nearly all, he doesn't know which one it is, many or most or nearly all of my god brothers told me that my challenging the GBC gurus was going to be too stressful for me, and I would end up not living a long life. They were not going to challenge, so they could have peace of mind, etc. And then many of them began drinking beer, smoking pot, watching football, etc. Okay, and what happened next? Many, actually, most, are now gone. They left their bodies and the planet. Many, if not most, got cancer or other terminal ailments. And a number still are having cancer, senile problems, heart surgeries, etc. So he acts like getting old and sick and aging is bad karma. Or he's just insane because he wants to blame all these people that are doing wrong, and then they end up dying. It's because they weren't speaking out. They were not going to challenge, so they could have peace of mind. But what happened to them? Many, actually most, are now gone. He thinks most of them are gone. He thinks most of the devotees, he thinks most of his godbrothers are gone, dead. They left their bodies, he says. And they got cancer or other terminal ailments because they weren't with him. They weren't doing what he was doing. So they got sick and they died. Is this? You can't tell me this is a mental illness. You can't tell me this man is not insane. You just can't. You really. I don't know. So anyway, so and then also he says here, many of them began drinking beer, smoking pot, watching football. They left your stupid cult. They just left your cult. Like this, like where is this guy? If I can find it now. This was in 2003. This was from Vipramukya Swami. And I mentioned this once before, probably over a year ago, maybe 2 years ago. In 2003, in 2003, he wrote this letter. He wrote this letter in 2003. My dear friends and disciples in ISKCON. He's still saying humble obeisances, glories to Prabhupada. He says, I'm sure some of you who saw me this summer might have wondered why I had grown my hair out a little bit. One person even asked me about it the other day. In England, and I told him it was because of observing Chaturmasya, the 4 months of the rainy season in India, when sannyasis and the renounced order of life typically perform austerity, which sometimes include not shaving. Unfortunately, it is not actually the case with me. Yeah, so he was lying. He says, and so it is with a heavy heart that I write this letter that I never thought would be written after giving so many years of my life to the Hare Krishna movement, more than 29, 20 of which have been as a sannyasi. I have reached an emotional and spiritual crossroads. I have tried as sincerely as I could to give my mind, body, and soul to the eternal service of my spiritual master, Srila Prabhupada, and also trying my best to help others in need. Yet, while working sincerely to help others, I regret that I neglected my own emotional, spiritual needs. So at this point in his life, in 2003, after 29 years, he's having some difficulties. He says, although I never stopped chanting my rounds over the last few years, my rounds became sloppy. He goes on, he says, I felt unable to discuss my problems with anyone for fear of repercussions and the blight that someone in my position might encounter for having such problems. So he probably wasn't following, and he couldn't talk to anybody about it, and he says, regretfully, I also confess that seeking some kind of recourse and companionship, I was not always able to strictly follow the regular principles. So he was having sex because that's basically what, he wasn't having burgers. So he was having sex, and then he says, I joined ISKCON at the age of 20 after a brief and short failed marriage from the age of 18. 2 years later, at the age of 22, I was put up for consideration to take sannyas, which I eventually did, except at the age of 28. So 21 years. So he says now, many years later, at the age of 49. So he broke his sannyas. He was having sex with someone, and he says, I've reached, and now at this time, at the age of 49, I've reached a dead end in my ability to continue. He goes on and he says, as for me, I still believe in Srila Prabhupada and Krishna. I still believe in the GBC system that Srila Prabhupada set up for ISKCON. However, I will be living a life of seclusion from ISKCON now and will sort out my personal, emotional, and spiritual needs independently. He goes on about his cabinets and getting his stuff out of there and where he's going to go and what to do with the stuff. And he that's basically the rest of the letter, what to do with his things. And that was in 2003. So eventually he left the movement completely, and I don't have. See, this is where I got lost. Eventually, he left, and in 2024. 2024. Okay, yeah, here it is. So he saved himself from mental illness. He got out of this. In 2003, he realized, hey, I don't know about this, and he started to work his way out. He found his way out. I congratulate this guy. Well, I don't know what he's doing now, but I congratulate him. Here in 2025, he wrote this. He says, I believed in reincarnation for 50 years. Now I'm an atheist. Please don't be offended. I can't help that. I don't believe. I can't help that I don't believe. It takes a lot of courage and honesty to reevaluate deeply held beliefs, especially ones that shaped my life for so long. He's right about that. Okay? He says, and for a long time I was so immersed in my beliefs that even the concept of atheism felt offensive. It wasn't just a disagreement, it felt dangerous, as if God would punish me for daring to question. After all, wasn't doubt supposed to be a sign of spiritual weakness? So he goes on, and he says, I'm an atheist. He says, atheism is what you're left with when you follow reason and evidence where they lead, even if it's uncomfortable. And so, and he goes on. So, I feel like he saved himself from this mental illness. And this guy was a Swami. He was getting worshipped. People thought he was as good as God. He had to give that all up and just go back to being a normal person. I congratulate this guy. And he was a vicious guru who was pretty, he didn't like Ritvix. He was always writing stuff, and he was just like all these other guys. But he came to his senses. He came to his senses and he said, this is bullshit. He came to his senses and said, this is bullshit. He talks about science. He says, but science has shown me something far more awe-inspiring and real. I am made of molecules forged in ancient stars. My consciousness, my thoughts, my sense of I am arise from amazing, intricate activities of neurons firing in my brain. So I think it's great. It just shows you that at any time, any level, you can wake up, come to your senses, get out of this nonsense, get out of this craziness. Now, Rafael sent me something about this devotee, and yeah, I don't know anything about the guy. But in 2018, they made a statement about him that he was suffering from dementia or something, and that he was his psychological condition is declining rapidly. And I guess they found him wandering around in Vrindavan, I guess, and he was trying to get on a train. It sounds like maybe he had some kind of dementia or some Alzheimer's or something. And I don't know why they were letting him wander around and that he wasn't under care. See, this is something that I don't think they can deal with something like that. They got a guru, a devotee, who needs full on dementia care. Oh, well, you're going to get that. That's 24. You got to watch this guy at 24 hours a day. He'll walk away, wander off Mathura Road, and you don't know where he's going to end up in the river like Mahaprabhu, drown in the river. Get run over by a train or something. Get lost in the forest, not know where he is, and then fall down. You don't know what's going to happen to someone in Vrindavan with dementia. They don't know what's going on. Evidently, that's what they're saying by. 2024, he passed away. He passed away. His Holiness Bhakti Vishramba Madhava Swami took first initiation from Srila Prabhupada in July 1974 in San Francisco. Took sannyas in 2001. And he'd been under the medical care of devotees in Vrindavan and departed after a long illness on December 22nd, 2024. So he had some kind of rare type of Parkinson's disease. I don't know. It sounds really sad. It sounds like his mental state deteriorated, and maybe he was suffering from some kind of debilitating mental cognitive decline or something. I don't know. I can't keep up on. I can't keep up on this chat. Oh, you're talking about this lady. This woman speaks like a Nazi. You're talking about the woman in Vrindavan. Yeah, she's always feeding people and talk, but I don't. I know it's a scam, so I don't have to listen to her. So I don't need to know. But I believe you. I believe you. I believe that 100%. That harsh speech comes from Prabhupada, who had no compassionate speech for anyone's real pain. I agree with you. I agree with you. I can't. It's hard for me to keep up with this and still do this. Okay, so I got rid of that. I got rid of that. Okay, and we did him. So yeah, this guy, this Madhava Swami, whatever his name was, that just shows you, he needed some care. He needed care. He was somebody's he was somebody's family. He was somebody's brother, somebody's brother-in-law, somebody's uncle. He just didn't drop out of the sky. The guy had a family at some time, and then he joined this cult. He still had a family somewhere. Guy ends up with like Parkinson's disease or some kind of dementia or cognitive decline or Alzheimer's. He's wandering around Vrindavan, wandering into the train station, trying to buy a ticket to somewhere. They got to go get him, bring him back. Wandering through the Goshala or something. This is really sad. This is how they treat their swamis. Because they don't care. This is how these guys talking about. Oh, sorry, folks, I can't feel sorry for her because she offers her food to some bogus guru. Okay, but she's a brainwashed freak just like you. I don't wish cancer on anybody. I just. Okay, so let me get back. So the insanity. So this is what I'm talking about. This is insanity. This guy, this faith healer guy, he thinks he's knocking out demons out of this guy's head. He thinks he's faith healing this guy and doing all this weird stuff. That's no different than Gora Hari. It's no different than Bhakti Vikash Swami, but thinks he's going to become a ghost. These guys worshiping a fossil, a rock fossil. They take a rock out of the ground. Take a rock out of the ground. Paint a little face on it. Put some eyes on it. and worship it like it's God. Now, I can understand, if you want to do that for fun and meditate on that and whatever, it's okay. But if this is part of your cult and you have to do this and believe these things, otherwise you can't love God, or you're going to commit an offense, or you're whatever, then you're in a cult. And that cult is marrying little girls and letting these gurus molest little girls get away with it. I don't give a fuck. That's the bottom line. The bottom line is you got a bunch of these guys running around looking for their little girl wives. Looking for their little girl wives. And they can't wait. They can't wait. They can't wait till they get their little girl wife. You know how I know? Because I turn on YouTube and I see this. I see this.
Activity one note, teeth, not take birth again. Haribo!
Grooming this little girl to be a nice little 12-year-old wife to some 26-year-old man, some 19-year-old man, some 22-year-old man. So that she'll know all the verses, she'll be submissive, she won't talk back, she'll know her place, she'll just make garlands and cook prasadam and do the cleaning and milk the cow, whatever. And they just can't wait. They gotta dress them up and put them up there. Let everybody know. We got the little girls right here. Our books say we can marry them at 12. All our guys will tell you it's Vedic, it's Vedic, it's Vedic, it's Vedic. You don't understand the Vedas, Prabhu. You don't understand the Vedas. You're racist. You're racist. If you're against child marriage, well then you're racist. You're just what the fuck is racist about being against child marriage? So, on this Reddit group, to just go on this tangent, this child marriage tangent, this guy wrote an essay about child marriage, and then I wrote about how I commented, someone accused me of being racist because I was speaking out against child marriage, and he replied, and I'm just going to read a little bit of about his reply because it's pertinent. As to why this guy, this Chandrasekhar guy, is like, well, report every Hindu. If you're going to report me for child marriage, then report every Hindu. And this other guy comes in and says, oh, you're racist for talking shit about child marriage. So this guy replies and he says, it is sad. I think much of that response is tied to the history of colonialism. Enlightenment values were couched in a language of supremacy. Indians were told they were racially inferior and shamed. Therefore, they embraced ancient and unhealthy practices as a reactionary middle finger to European hegemony. I think this is where Prabhupada is coming from. Quote, F you, this is my culture, unquote. So he says, I can understand that no one likes to be conquered and forced to adopt their conqueror's culture. So these guys, they want to adopt this Hinduism, like Jitaratri and Yashodanandan and Tattva Darshan. They want to cosplay as Hindus for the sex too. I'm like, well, Vedic culture says I can have a 12-year-old girl. Where are these guys getting this idea? It's like you don't even have to tell them. It's like they already know. Like it's built in. It's built in with the gopis and the Ramananda Roy and all of that shit. It's built in. It's built in it's on a covert level, on an overt, covert, subliminal. It's right in your face, with the gopis being 11 and 12, Prabhupada saying, I married my wife was 11 years old. It doesn't get more in your face than that. Telling them to marry him off. And that's got to be part of the mental illness too. If you think that you can go cosplay as a Hindu, you know you're not a Hindu. Chandrasekhar, he even says, and I know it's hard, you go, well, Mike, are they all crazy? They are all insane. They're all mentally ill on one level or another. And sometimes it's on 11. You cosplaying as a Hindu, you're not. You were born in Nebraska. You were born in Los Angeles. And you read a book by a failed chemist who thinks he's some kind of pure devotee God, and now you think that you're his grace so-and-so something because you had a fire thing and you threw some grains in it and said swaha? And you read the Bhagavad Gita? Because he read the Bhagavad Gita? Now you're his grace, her grace, his grace? You're going to teach somebody something? Not only do you think you're a guru, you think you're a yogi, you think you're a sage, you think you're whatever the fuck you think you are. You think you get a 12-year-old wife, goes along with it. That's your consolation prize. Like Jitaratri and Tattva Darshan and all these other guys. Where's my 12-year-old wife? Oh, I'm already married? Well, maybe I'll just go to Cambodia and get my 12-year-old girl. You know, it is Vedic. It is Vedic, you know. You can't tell me that's not mental illness. That's pedophilia. That's pedophilia just injected right into these guys' neck. And it's like, ooh, where's my 12-year-old? It's crazy. I can't. Yep. Rip Viper Mukyaswamy. Yeah, another cheater scammer. Sannyasa 28. A fucking joke. Yeah, these guys are. But at least he recognizes it and he knows. Believe me, he knows that these guys are fake. Because he knows it's fake. You can't tell him it ain't fake. Now they're gonna say, well, he fell down and he's this and he blah 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 blah. He knows. He knows. Just like I know. Just like we know. Pretending to be everything. I know. They're just cosplaying. They're cosplaying like it's friggin' the Renaissance fair. Like it's a goddamn Renaissance fair. And they're gonna dress up and run around like it's the Renaissance fair. Except it's in India. It's the Renaissance in India. And they're going to run around like it's the Renaissance fair, and they're going to talk like it's the Renaissance fair, and they're going to read their stories and do the whole thing. It's a mental illness because they don't think it's a Renaissance fair. They think it's real. They think it's real. Well, you guys, I really want to. I need a moderator. I really need. I think Eliana is the number one candidate for being a moderator. I just can't get to all these comments, and I want to because I like this when I want to say what you guys are saying. I want to comment. justice for little girls. Absolutely, man. Absolutely, absolutely. So, swaha. I know. And what? And now you're a guru. Now you're some guru. Now you're some guy. The mental illness of these people. Look at this. This is another one. Let me see. Why did I put this one up? This is. I got a lot of devotees from. I got a lot of devotees. I'm reading this. I got a lot of videos from Rafael.
With competition, with any, we are committing offenses. Slowly, you lose taste towards holy name. Slowly, you lose taste towards spiritual activities, develop doubt towards sadhu, guru, Vaishnava, parampara, acharyas. Lastly, you will give up. Why people are give up societies? Why the devotees especially, you see, why the devotees, they give up ISKCON? Not ISKCON, even you see other, even sampradayas, Bonafide sampradaya, why they give up their sampradayas? Offensive. A long process. They are keeping in their...
No. No. It's not offenses. It's not. See, that's what they're telling them. That's what they're telling the brainwashed, is that it's because of offenses. No, we just came to our senses. It has nothing to do with offenses. But that's how they explain it. Because how can all this chanting and all the swaha and all the beads and tilak and visiting the holy dham and all the flowers and all the Bhagavad Gita verses and all the japa and all the parikram and all of that and all the sticks and all the worship and washing feet and drinking the water and all of that, how can it not work? How can it not work? Well, it's offenses. Well, then why should I do it then? Why should I do it? It's Kali Yuga and offenses, Prabhu. It's offenses. Well, then why should I do it? Let me just go like Prabhupada said. Why even try? You gotta be kidding me. You're gonna tell me that I could do this for 80 years, 60 years, and then like Trivikram just bounce out because of offenses? Some made up offenses? Hey, Snoggle, good to see you here. Man, I'm glad to see everybody here. It's so wonderful. It's a Bhakti Yoga Club. It's a Bhakti Yoga Club. Absolutely. It's our Scampradaya. So we have a Scampradaya that I guess starts with me. I'm the Scampradaya Acharya. In my city, we have a Zen temple with highly educated, rich white people with shaved heads, robes, etc., cosplaying medieval Japanese cultural rituals. And if that makes you happy, that's great. Like I was saying, like I've been saying for a while, I have a Facebook friend who goes out and he does these medieval war fighting. You know, they dress up like knights and they make armor and they have swords and they have shields and they have helmets and they're like Monty Python. They're out there like King Arthur and they have these battles and they have these wars, and that's what they do on the weekends. They go out and they do that and they have fun. They love it, and they call themselves Your Majesty, and they have knights and they have sires and they have peasants, I get, and they have royalty, whatever. And he sends pictures, he posts pictures, and he's been doing this for years. He's been doing this for like 20, 30 years. This guy's been doing it. And he has a great time. He has a lot of fun. They all do it, and that's great. But he doesn't think it's real. He doesn't think it's real. Hare Krishnas, they're doing the same thing, but they think it's real. They think it's real. So if you want to go do that and have fun, and that's great. have fun. But if you think it's real, that's when it gets insane. That's when the mental illness, that's when it's mental illness. When you think that you really are the holy man, if you really think that you're His Grace, Acharya Dev, as Chandrasekhar Acharya Dev, if I sat here and I really thought that I was, if I sat here and I was like, I really am Bhakti Venmo Sri Mukunda Swami, and I can really give you love of God, then, and I really thought that deep down in my heart, like I would be insane. If I thought I was, if I knew in my heart I wasn't, and I was pretending so I could get money and I could mislead you and get you to do whatever I say or whatever, worship me and whatever, then that's kind of sinister and evil and demented. I mean, you know, there's layers to that shit. But that's, you know, there's a difference between having fun and goofing around and playing medieval war and believing that you're a 15th century Bengali who's talking to a demon head that eats the moon. Cosplaying is on the rise in the United States. See, cosplaying in general is on the rise everywhere. People like to dress up as stuff. It's like something that only little kids used to do, and now adults are like, hey, I want to dress up, and you know, dressing up as whoever they want. And they have Comic-Con, and sometimes people just dress up like on Hollywood Boulevard. They go out, they dress up like Superman, Spider-Man, whatever. But nobody really thinks they're Spider-Man or Superman. Nobody really thinks that. No one really thinks, except this guy. This guy really thinks that he's a holy man. He thinks he's His Holiness Haladara Swami Maharaj. He really thinks that he deserves that name, that he's done something. He really thinks he's done something. He hasn't done anything but mislead people into a pedophile cult, because all he's doing is telling people to read these books and follow these instructions. Prabhupada's books are law books for the next 10,000 years, and as soon as I find out they get a 12-year-old wife, hell, they can have more than one, they start looking for a little girl wife. Just ask that His Holiness, His Grace Chandrasekhar Das. He got banned from evidently he got banned from a temple in New Zealand because he's looking for a 15-year-old girl. Wanted to marry a 15-year-old girl. I mean, come on. So okay, I moved on from this guy, so I'm gonna eliminate that. Here's another. My favorite idiot, Harvard dumbass Goswami. Harvard dumbass Goswami again. It's called Historical European Martial Arts. It's fun, and I had participated in one. Became a Highlander. There can only be one immortal. Yeah, there's one. There's one this guy does in California, and they go, and it's like they call it the something war, and they go every fall and spring and whatever summer. I don't know. Who is this guy? Is this guy back again? You have your opinion, and you're looking at it at a negative degree. What, child marriage? I'm looking at child marriage negatively. Yeah, I look at child marriage negatively. Absolutely. You have another way of looking at child marriage? Okay, sannyasis can't even marry. What is this guy talking about? I'm talking about child marriage. I'm talking about Prabhupada teaching child marriage. You don't know about that? You don't know where Prabhupada said that 19-year-olds and 12-year-olds can get together? I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about, do you support child marriage that Prabhupada teaches in his books? Do you support that, child marriage? I'm not talking about making mistakes. I'm talking about child marriage. Do you support child marriage? I'm not going to ask you again. You support child marriage, Harry? Where? Do you want me to show you where? I'll show you where. What are you going to say when I show you? What are you going to do when I show you? Let's ask you that. What are you going to do when I show you Prabhupada teaching child marriage to his disciples? What are you going to do when I show you where Prabhupada says? What are you going to do? What are you going to do when I show you what Prabhupada says? What are you going to do? What are you going to do when I show you what Prabhupada says? What are you going to do when I show you this? Where Prabhupada says, there is no objection to a 19-year-old boy and a 12-year-old girl. It is a very good combination. So do you agree with that? You agree with that? You agree with that statement? Do you agree with that when Prabhupada says that a 19-year-old man and a 12-year-old girl is a very good combination? Do you agree with that? No, you don't have to do any more research. You don't have to do it. It's right here. I got it right here for you. Why do you? What more research do you need? It's right here from the Veda base. You see, Bhaktivedanta Veda base, room conversation, February 27, 1977, Mayapur. I'm showing it to you. I'm showing it to you. I'm showing it to you. What is wrong with you? You see, I knew you would backtrack. I knew you would backtrack. Like you wanted to see it. You wanted to see it, and then when I show you, you backtrack, and you're like, well, no, wait, no. I'm showing you right here from the Veda base. What is wrong? So tell me if you agree with this or not. It says right here, this 19-year-old boy. He says 19-year-old boy. What happened? What happened? Now you got to do more research? What happened? You were so confident. Now you're saying you need to do more research. He's such a fucking clown. He is a clown. He wanted to be against child marriage. He's like, where does it say kid marriage? Where does it say that? Where does it say that? And then when I show him, he's like, oh, no, wait a minute. I got to do more research. That's how all these guys are. When he's got the opportunity to say it's bad, he won't do it. He just won't fucking do it. He just won't do it. He's got all the opportunity. And just like I said, every single one of them will come in here and none of them will say that child marriage is bad. No one will disagree with Prabhupada in this conversation. I say it every time. It's right here in the Veda base. See, they can't handle it. They can't handle Mike. Can't handle Mike knowing what he's talking about. They just can't handle it. Can't handle Mike knowing what he's fucking talking about. Dude, are you an idiot? He says it's a good combination. He's saying they're going to get married. He says you can do it. And Radha Ballava says, okay, I'm going to do it. Prabhupada says right here, if they stick to have one husband and one wife, it's very good. Or even the man can have more than one wife. That is allowed in the Vedic system. Why are you pretending like it doesn't say what it says? This is how these pieces of shit are. They're so fucking dishonest. Even when you show them, they want to say no. He was all against child marriage until I showed it to him. Then when I showed it to him, then he's going to sing a different tune. And fuck these pieces of shit pedophile motherfuckers, man. See how they are? Do you all see how you are? This is exactly how you are out there. You motherfucking pedophiles. You fucking pedophiles. You can't say it's wrong. You just can't say it's wrong. This guy won't say it's wrong. Fucking piece of shit will not say it's wrong. They cannot say it's wrong. He can go to the Veda base and read it. He's already read it and said, no, well, Prabhupada says something else. He just don't want to accept it. And you know what? He's going to go on and pretend like it doesn't say what it says. He's going to say, well, Prabhupada says they're going to do. He's going to act like it ain't happening. He's going to deny this quote And then he's going to deny all the child marriages that happened because of this quote. He's going to deny that Acharya Chandrasekhar is looking for a wife. He's going to deny all these little girls that were told that they were going to be wives. He's going to deny all that shit just so he can remain in a pedophile cult. That's how these fuckers are. And if that ain't mental illness, I don't know what it is. He's going to deny all this shit so he can stay in a pedophile cult. And you're going to tell me that ain't fucking insanity and mental illness? Give me a break. These people are sick. They're sick fucks.
Movement down from generation to generation, and how do you sustain it?
Well, parents have to teach their children. That's the easy answer. How do we sustain it? It's like a plane. You have to reach a certain velocity or it doesn't fly. The biggest problem we find with the kids of devotees, the young people, is that when you're a certain age, like what the young people are focused on is success. You want to be cool, you want to be hip, you want to be successful, you want to be respected. That becomes like a major obsession. And so, and I've had many of the most senior Prabhupada disciples in America tell this to me. I've had some of the most important leaders in North America tell me, if we would have had Krishna West back then, I would have saved my son.
This guy is the dumbest motherfucker on the planet next to Harry Dennis Preston. This Harvard dumbass Goswami. He's trying to explain why the ISKCON children left because they were abused and they didn't want to put up with your pedophile shit. They're too smart for that crap. You abused the fuck out of them, tortured them. They grew up and said, "What the fuck is all this bullshit?" How could you ever agree with pedophilia, child marriages, and all the wrongful teachings of Srila Prabhupada? It's he's gonna agree with it. He's gonna agree with it. Yeah, exactly. Just be honest. You'll follow this cult regardless of how many psychopathic, criminal things Prabhupada has said. Yeah, exactly. You hit the nail on the head. They don't care. They don't care. They don't care. It's like my friend Radhakunda said. He goes, you could prove to me this is bogus and wrong and fake, and I would still do it. Because he's brainwashed. He's brain fucking washed. Yeah, he was all, let's go back and see what he said just for fun. Let's see what his original statements were. First he says, sannyasis can't even marry. What is this guy talking about? He's talking about me. And what was I talking about? Sannyasis can't even marry. Because I was talking about child marriage. Okay? And he says, they're human. And he says, everyone makes mistakes. So he's defending these gurus. He's defending the gurus, saying everyone makes mistakes, blah, blah, blah. I'm talking about child marriage. So then he says, where does it say anything about kid marriage? So evidently he didn't know in the Bhagavatam where Prabhupada says 16-year-old girls must be married to 26-year-old men. He must not have read that part of the Bhagavatam. He didn't read that part of the Bhagavatam. And he didn't read the other part of the Bhagavatam where Prabhupada says that prepubescent girls must be married. He didn't read that part of the Bhagavatam either. And then he didn't read these conversations where Prabhupada is saying, where they're coming to Prabhupada, because if you just read the conversation, you'll see that Radha Vallabha is asking Prabhupada about this marriage. We've never done it before. So I had some questions. I had to ask you some questions about it first. I told him to hold on until I talked to you. So obviously they're getting married and he's checking with Prabhupada first. And Prabhupada says, oh yes, 19-year-old boy and a 12-year-old girl, that's a good combination. But they'll probably going to just break up anyway. That's what Prabhupada is saying. He's not saying, no, they can't get married because they're going to break up. He's saying, yeah, it's a good combination, but because of your country, they're probably just going to break up anyway. So I show him where he says it. I show him where he says it. Where does it say that in the scripture? So I show him where Prabhupada says it. And his next thing is, I'll do more research in it. Like me showing him wasn't enough. He doesn't want to commit. He doesn't want to commit that it's wrong. He's going to figure it out first. Let me figure out a reason to be for it. So he says, where does it say that? He says it again because he wants to be against it, but he's not sure, because if it says it, then he's got to be for it. If it doesn't say it, then he can be against it. So he's hoping I'm just making it up. So he doesn't say. So I show him again. And he says, Prabhupada says they will separate. So again, he just doesn't want to accept what Prabhupada is saying. He just doesn't want to accept it. He sees it now. He doesn't want to accept it. He doesn't want to accept it. And that's it. He's gone. So he didn't want. He was confronted with the truth, and he couldn't take it. He just left. So now he's probably reading this conversation, and he's trying to figure out what's going on, because now he's got to be against it. So now he's got to figure out, well, it's Vedic. It's a Vedic system. We're gonna Prabhupada was 11, so that makes it okay. Prabhupada was 22 and his wife was 11, so that makes it okay. So Prabhupada did it, so it's okay, and it's Vedic, so he'll come back and he'll go, hey, kid marriage is okay because it's Vedic and it's Prabhupada. He's not going to come back. He's definitely not going to come back and say child marriage is wrong and Prabhupada is wrong. He's definitely not going to do that. Because he could have said that already. He already could have said that. He could have said child marriage is wrong. He could have said child marriage is wrong, and if Prabhupada says it's wrong. He could have said that at the beginning. You can't do it, and none of you can do it. Not one of you. Not one of you fucking Hare Krishnas can do it. Not one of you can do it. Here's another how to ruin your life. Here's another one, how to ruin your friggin' life, man. It's for a goddamn pedophile cult. See, now Harry didn't know he was in a pedophile cult. Now all of a sudden he's like, whoa, I'm in a pedophile cult. Let me figure out how to make this okay. Because when I didn't know it was a pedophile cult, I was pissed off that this guy was talking about it's a pedophile cult. Now I have to figure out a way to defend it.
ISKCON is because when you look at other societies out there, you look at Christian society, you look at the Muslim society, you look at all these traditional societies, they don't give us that taste we're looking for. Everybody's looking for the taste, the real truth. But when you go to these other societies, you don't get that taste. I remember when I was in school, I was in high school, I used to have a lot of Christian friends. And these Christian friends would always come to me and try to talk to me, join Christianity or join Islamic. But I always told them there's no use of me joining Christianity and there's no use of me joining Islamic religion. And the reason is because Krishna consciousness gives you that direct.
So you can see the mannerisms, the terminology, the way he talks. It's all cult. It is like he is like a cult zombie. He's saying everything exactly the way they say it, the way he heard it, with the words and in his head, everything. It's almost, it's weird. It's weird, but it's also mental illness. Yeah, he reminds me of my friend Radha Kund. Radha Kund would have like all these mala. See, there you go. He agrees with Prabhupada. See, he agrees with Prabhupada. See, first he was against it. He was against it at first, but now he's all for it. And I told you, I told you that's exactly what he would say. First he said, where does it say that? Where does it say that? Like he was upset that I would say such a thing. But then once he found out that it does say that, now he's all for it. He's all for it now. He didn't like it. He didn't like it when I said it, and he thought I was lying. When he thought I was lying, he was pissed off. He was like, "Where does it say that? Where does it say that in the scripture? Where does it say that in the scripture? Where does Prabhupada say that?" And then when I showed him, he's like, "Hold on a second, let me ask my guru." So he went and he asked his guru, and his guru said, "Oh yeah, we're down with the child marriage." And then he came back and he's like, "Yep, I'm down with it." See, he goes, he's trying to say the girl and the boy will marry at a later date. See, he says he doesn't want to admit that Prabhupada says 19-year-old man and a 12-year-old girl is a good combination. So later date, what? When she's 13 and he's 26? Or 25, 24? What? When she's 16 and he's 30? When he's 26 and she's 30? Or he's 26 and she's 16? How long are they going to wait? You tell me, Harry, you tell me how long are they going to wait to have sex? Are they going to wait until she's 21? Are they going to wait till she's 18? So she's going to wait till she's 18. So they're going to wait 6 years. So this 19-year-old man is going to wait till he's 25 to have sex with his 18-year-old bride. You could want me to believe that? Come on, man. You really want me to believe that? You see how stupid they are? You see how stupid they think we are? You see how stupid they think we are? Meanwhile, this Chandra Shekhar guy is running around looking for his 12-year-old wife, 15-year-old wife. Girls are being married. The girl said she was married off at 13 and she was raped by her husband in India. He wants to pretend that ain't happening. You see how sick these people are? Do you see how sick these people are? How long are they going to wait? They're going to get married. So she's going to marry him at 12 and he's 19. And what are they going to wait? 3 years till she's 15? So when she's 15 and he's 24, oh, you're down with that, right? You're down with her being 15 and he's 24. You're all right with that. Is that all right? Is that what you're saying? Is that what you're saying, Harry? Is that what you're saying? I don't believe whatever you want. At least now you know your group is just a bunch of criminal lowlifes. Yeah. Unfortunately, you know now. You know what you're dealing with now. You're dealing with Mike, and Mike knows what he's talking about. And Mike knows that your pedophile cult, what they do, and what your cult leader is teaching, and what these fuckers are doing, what you do to these little girls. I know. We all know. And now you know. And now you're defending it. And that's why I say you're all a bunch of pedophiles. You're all a bunch of pedophiles. And you just outed yourself as one too. You just said, I agree with Prabhupada. You agree with a 19-year-old man and a 12-year-old girl. You're fucking disgusting sick. You're fucking disgusting and sick. He's fucking disgusting and sick. He's not using his brain. He's just saying, well, whatever they tell me, that's what I'm going to believe. Whatever they tell me, that's what I believe. Because I'm not really a Hindu. I'm just fucking whatever. What the fuck do I know? Whatever my guru says, how Harvard dumbass Goswami says. Marry at a later date. I know, seriously. What later date? They're going to wait till she's 18? They're going to wait till she's 18. She's 12 years old. They're going to wait till she's 18. 6 years. They're going to wait 6 years. You know that Prabhupada married when his wife was 11, right? You know that, right? He says right here, conversation, my wife was 11. You know that, right? He says, my wife was 11. Otherwise, there was no objection. I married, my wife was 11 years old. And you know, and they didn't wait. He didn't wait till she was 18 to have kids. She had kids when she was 12. She had her first kid when she was 12 years old. That means Prabhupada was 23 years old. His wife was 12 years old. That's your fucking pedophile Prabhupada. Your fucking pedopod. Your fucking pedopod had sex with his wife when he was 23. She was 12. She was 12 years old. And you want, yeah, I know, it's disgusting. That's how these guys are. I'm pulling them out of the woodwork. I'm getting them, they're falling into my trap. They're all coming on here, live in my show, and admitting that they're fucking pedophiles. They're admitting that they like this child marriage. They're admitting that they like 12-year-old girls marrying 19-year-old men. They're all for it. Every single one of them. Yeah, she's going to wait to... You know what? It doesn't matter because the marriage is still illegal. The marriage is still illegal. Whether they wait for sex or not, it doesn't matter. If you marry an underage girl, it's child marriage. It doesn't matter. The sex doesn't matter. And you're just friggin' trying to find an excuse. And that's what's so sick about it. That's what's so sick, is he wants to make an excuse. He knows it's wrong. He knows it's wrong because he said it was wrong before he found out Prabhupada was for it. As soon as he found out Prabhupada was for it, now he's making all kinds of excuses for it. And that's disgusting. These people are disgusting. This is a guy who would go to Epstein Island and get a little girl. That's the kind of people these people are. I swear this is what they are. Look at him. He can't admit it. He just can't admit it. He's trying to worm his way out of his argument. Where did Prabhupada say they're going to wait? Prabhupada didn't say anything about waiting. He's saying, hey, if he wants to have two wives, he can have two. He can have two 12-year-olds if he wants. Hey, you're a fucking pedophile, man. You're in a pedophile cult. You're hanging around with pedophiles. You're probably looking for a 12-year-old wife too. It's fucking disgusting. It's fucking disgusting, man. You realize that? You realize how fucking disgusting you are? He can't figure it out. He can't figure it out. And how dumb he is. And how dumb he is. He knew it was wrong when I said it was. When I said it, he knew it was wrong. But in just like that, the flip of a switch, he went from, where does it say that, to, oh, it's okay now. You see? You see how these fuckers are? We caught one tonight. If you think you're learning so much, you just learn about, you ain't learned nothing. You ain't learned nothing. What you learned tonight, what you learned is that you're in a pedophile cult and that your Prabhupada was a pedopod and he had an 11-year-old wife and he was 22 years old and he had an 11-year-old wife and he had sex with an underage girl. He's a pedophile and he's teaching it to his disciples and they're all pedophiles. You're all a bunch of fucking pedophiles because he got you to agree with it. Now you're in agree with him. You're agreeing with it. You agree that a 19-year-old man can marry a 12-year-old girl. And you're all for it. You're fucking disgusting. And you know, they want to, YouTube wants to age restrict my videos because I swear and I say fuck. Well, you know what? I don't give a fuck. Fuck you guys. You fucking pedophiles. His guru is probably this Sri Dayananda. I got a feeling he's Sri Dayananda guru disciple. Just get the fuck out. I know. He don't want him. The pedophilia and child marriage isn't enough for him. Guys getting shot in the head, that ain't enough for him. Women being abused, Rupa Manjari, children being abused and tortured, that ain't enough for him. Gurus sticking up for child abusers and pedophiles, and Tatva Darshan going to Cambodia and all of this shit. And he don't care. He don't give a fuck. He says, I don't care about all that. I'm having fun. I'm chanting Hare Krishna and I got flowers and incense and I get up and I do my thing. He doesn't give a fuck about all the kids. He doesn't give a fuck about all the women abused. He doesn't give a fuck about any of that. He doesn't care about child marriage. He doesn't care about little girls being married off to grown men. He doesn't give a fuck. Doesn't give a fuck. Doesn't give a fuck. Look at this. This is what you're gonna be. This is what you're gonna be, Harry. You're gonna end up being an insane friggin' nut. You're gonna be an insane nut. You're already a pedophile. You're gonna end up being an insane nut.
And I'm your host, Harinama Chintamani. It is an unusual title for a video. What if I unknowingly have served a Satanist? We think, well, how is this possible? I'm a housewife. I'm a father. I go to work every day. Of course, that's not going to be my situation. I'm a churchgoer. I belong to this or that corporation. But now we are in a time of great disclosures. We are finding out.
This guy doesn't know anything about this cult. He doesn't know the history of the children in the Gurukula and how they were tortured. He doesn't know how they were tortured. Little kids. He doesn't know. He doesn't know about the little girls that were raped and married off at 12 and 13 years old. He doesn't know about it. He doesn't know that these gurus in New Vrindavan sent a hit team out and murdered a guy in his van in Los Angeles. Shot him in the head. He doesn't know about that. He doesn't know about it. He doesn't know that when Jadharani went to New Vrindavan to confront Kirtanananda about it, they beat the fuck out of her. They almost killed her. He didn't know about that. He doesn't know about any of this shit. He doesn't know that Bhakti Tirtha sent that poor woman to Liberia to die on the beach. He doesn't know about that. Sent her into a war zone so she could get shot by a firing squad. And he doesn't give a fuck. He doesn't give a fuck about any of these people. He doesn't care what this cult has done to so many people, including you, me, my daughter, so many people's daughters, so many little girls, so many little boys. He don't give a fuck. That's what I said. This cult is fuck them kids. They don't give a fuck about these kids. This guy doesn't give a fuck about anybody's kids. He doesn't care if little girls get married at 12 years old. He doesn't care as long as you know, when they grow up, a couple years to be okay. He doesn't give a fuck. He doesn't give a fuck about women. He doesn't care about women. He thinks they have small brains. He believes all this bullshit. He thinks Krishna is Bhagavan 2 Swayam, whatever. He's all into these verses and crap. He doesn't think I know about Krishna. Dude, I've forgotten more about Krishna than you'll fucking ever know. I've been around Hare Krishna longer than you've been on this fucking planet, dude. You're 24 years old. I was in it. I joined it when you were 4 years old. I 20 years I was in it. Like almost as long as you've been alive. And you think you can come in here with your fucking verses and Krishna this and Krishna that? And act like I don't know what I'm talking about? Like I don't know about what's going on in this cult? You're 24 years old. Dude. My daughter's 40 years old. You gotta be out of your mind. My daughter was molested in this cult. She's 40 years old. This is what I'm telling you. These people come in here, they think they look. 24 years old. I don't know how long he's been a Hare Krishna, but you're gonna come in here and say, "Oh, Krishna is the supreme Lord." That he's to do his stupid little preaching because he doesn't know where he is. That's the insanity. That's the insanity of this thing. Hey, fuck you, you piece of shit. Fuck you, you little 24-year-old piece of shit. Who the fuck you think you are? You fucking pedophile piece of shit gonna come here and talk to me like that? You fucking pedophile piece of shit. I'll put my dick in your mouth if I want. That's what I'll do. You fucking pedophile piece of shit. Fuck you. I don't need your pedophile crap in here. Like somebody wants to hear your pedophile shit. Where? Fuck. Anyway, so let me get back. I want to listen to this fucking nut. So anyway, it was good to expose these Hare Krishnas. This is what I'm talking about. None of them will come out and admit that the child marriage is wrong. They'll act like it's wrong until you show them Prabhupada's quote, and then, let me get on the phone to Harvard dumbass Goswami. Let me get on the phone to Harvard dumbass Goswami and figure out if this is right or not. It's funny. Okay. So this is what happens. This is
children
more of the mental illness.
sent by well-meaning mothers and fathers to daycare centers were terribly harmed. In schools, in universities, in corporations, and sadly, in churches and mosques and temples.
In the ₹9 workshop that you're providing, what all do you cover?
In ₹9, you learn how to automate.
I'm getting Indian commercials.
I know. It was my experience. People who I trusted, people who I looked up to, people who I cared about, people who I gave my heart to. That is the saddest betrayal of all. When one has come to trust someone on that spiritual platform, and they betray the heart and the soul of that individual.
Are you listening, Harry? Harry, you're listening to her? Because she's speaking the truth. When you come to realize that you've been betrayed by this cult, you've already realized it. You've already realized you've been betrayed because you didn't know about the pedophilia, and I just had to point it out to you. And now you had to go and ask, and they told you, yeah, we're a pedophile cult. And and so I know you already feel betrayed, but you're in the cult, so you're just gonna go along with it.
And it brings the greatest consequence in karmic reaction. It's one thing if we are misguided and go down the wrong path, but when we set out to intentionally bring many with us, the karmic reaction for that is very, very great. And sadly, what we are going to find in this next year is that people who we trusted, people in the media, people in the entertainment world, musicians, actors, all kinds of people, and people in our daily life, in our local communities, people who we looked up to, people who were considered to be the emblems of the community.
So again with the mental illness, that this woman thinks that she, just like Harry and just like Gora Hari and just like Harvard dumbass Goswami and whoever else, thinks that she's going to sit there and she's going to talk and teach us something about life, when she believes in like evil spirits have taken over ISKCON. No, it's just friggin' pedophiles. It's just pedophiles, man. It's not evil spirits. It's pedophiles. Okay, and your guru is a pedophile. It's not hard to figure out. It's not some satanic takeover or some infiltration of the Illuminati or some aliens came down and took over Krishna consciousness or any of this. It's a cult. That's all it is. It's a cult. It's a pedophile cult. And you are insane.
They had joined all the right clubs. They always looked put together somehow, always perfectly put together.
And I know it's not just me. But she's got an insane look on her face. I mean, that is just an insane look in her eyes. I mean, seriously.
And why perfectly put together?
That is
because people
a lifetime
like that
of
cannot afford anyone to question anything about them.
This is what a lifetime in this cult. This is what a lifetime in this cult will do. It sucks the life out of her. Does she look happy? Does she look happy at all? You don't look happy to me.
And we wonder, how is it that somebody could be one way in public and behind closed doors engage in the most terrible, perverted, heinous, sinful, demonic activity?
And you know that's going on in your cult. And that's why you don't look happy. You're not happy. Have you ever seen any of these women look happy? I don't think I've seen. The only ones that look happy are those Russian ladies that look like hot lips out there on the street dancing and running around like robots, like Stepford wives. Those are the only ones that got smiles on their face. Friggin' insane in the membrane. This lady is certifiably insane. She's always talking about how there's satanic this, evil that, the Illuminati's taken over, and oh my goodness, it's just cult personalities are either like her or fiery like Sheila. It's just insanity, and I'm serious. Like when you start looking at it, when you look at it in a mental health capacity, these people are not mentally healthy. They might not be completely insane, but they're not mentally healthy. Nobody that's believing this stuff and is living like this is mentally healthy or happy. 30, 50 years of abuse is no women in ISKCON is really happy. You can't be. Not reading these books and hearing how you're Maya and your small brain, less intelligent, this and that, going on and on. Don't get married. Don't have anything to do with women. Women go over there. Women upstairs. Women in the back. Over on the side. The women after the men. The women can come, but women can only do a little bit because the men are. It's insanity. It's insanity. And that's why I say they're not mentally healthy. It's not mentally healthy. They might not be completely insane like some of the, like, might not be insane like this guy.
Sri Krishna Chaitanya Nityananda 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 Nityananda.
Actually, they are. Actually, I take that back. This woman is no different. She's no different. They're no. She's no different. She's just exhibiting the symptoms. She's just thinking. They're just exhibiting that mental illness in a different way. In a different way. That's all. What was it that Harry was threatening? I don't know if he was threatening, but these guys. I find it so weird separating the women and the men. Yeah, it's very Islamic. It's very Islamic. I don't think that's originally how Vedic culture was. I don't think it was. I think originally Vedic culture was the women took off their clothes and they got in the river naked. And then over time, it became women get in the river with their clothes on. Maybe because they got tired of someone stealing their clothes. They decided, like, well, you know what, we better take our bath with our clothes on. Maybe that's why. Maybe maybe that's what it was. I don't know. Yeah, I hope Harry gets the help that he needs. I doubt if he will. But hey, Harry, look at this. If you stay long enough in this cult, you'll end up like that. I don't want to seem mean or rude, but that's the reality. That's the reality, man. That is the reality. That's the reality. You're going to end up, and look at this guy. I feel sorry for this guy. I know, Krishna kept stealing the clothes, so they're like, well, let's just take our bath with the clothes on. It's like, Vedic culture was exactly like Western culture. No separation of men and women. The bikini concept was first thought to have come from ancient India. Well, from what I understand, if you look at statues and you look at the art, the old art, the women were topless. The sari did not go. They didn't wear the top thing. They obviously took off their clothes when they got in the river. It was not. It was But over time, things change. Hey, things change. Things change.
Hare Krishna. I'm Giri Das. I'm a disciple of His Holiness Bhakti Vikas Maharaj. I'm 21 years old. I'm from USA, America. I was born and raised in New Orleans, Louisiana.
21 years old. 21 years old from Louisiana. And now, at 21 years old, had his whole life ahead of him. His whole life ahead of him. And now look at him. He's in some place in South India, in some little village in the mountains somewhere, and some little eco village, cow Goshala farm project where they got him working, where he's working, and they're telling him that it's devotional service and that he's making advancement, and he's wearing this stupid orange outfit that says "I hate women." And he thinks he's Giri Das. He thinks he's Giri Das. The delusion.
I came to Krishna consciousness about 3 years ago.
3 years. He was 18. He was in high school. He just got out of high school and they nabbed him. They nabbed him.
And it was a pretty crazy story, I have to say.
Crazy story. I bet it's a crazy story.
When it all started,
I got to get on screen for this.
Before I actually knew about Krishna consciousness, I was born Christian in a very strict Christian family, Pentecostal. So I used to go to church every Wednesday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So I grew up pretty religious, I would say. But even though I grew up religious, I wasn't so, intrigued by Christianity itself, because I had many doubts, had many questions that they couldn't answer. So as I was growing up, as I got older, I started to question a lot of things from the Bible. And
isn't it interesting how every Hare Krishna devotee just had more questions that could be answered? They're just so inquisitive, because Krishna says 4 kinds of people come to him: those that want money, power, those that are inquisitive, and those that are seeking the absolute truth. See, I actually learned. I actually remembered something. I gotta get something for that. I get that. They always prey on young people. They got him at 18. And think of his parents. Think of his parents, his family. Just like Paz, his brother. His whole life ahead. Think of his parents. His parents are like, you got your whole life ahead of me, and now you're running off to India to milk a cow, to waste your life doing nothing at all, when you could have went to college and you could have done something. You could have been, and you could have, who knows what he could have done. He's 18 years old, 18. Another casualty. I know, it is so sad. So sad. He's gonna, you know what? Like me, I joined when I was 30. I was 31, and 20 years went by like that, and all of a sudden I shake my head. I'm ready to leave Krishna consciousness. I'm ready to make that split, and I'm like, and I make that split, and I'm like, I'm 51 years old. I wasn't 31 anymore. And I know it sounds funny, and it's like, it sounds stupid or whatever, but that was a heavy duty. I was 51. I wasn't 35 or 40 or 45. I was 51 years old, man. I'm like, I was staring down retirement. Like, retirement right around the corner. And this guy is 21, and 20 years is going to go by. If this guy's not careful, 20 years go by like that, and he's going to be 41 years old, 42 years old. And then what? The next thing you know, his whole life is wasted. And his parents are sitting at home. His parents are sitting at home going, we had a kid. We had a kid. Boudreaux, he graduated high school. Boudreaux graduated high school, and then he joined them damn Hare Krishnas and went off to India, and we never heard from Boudreaux ever again.
About many things that didn't make sense to me. So I started to ask my mom and my pastor about different questions, like for example, one of the questions I would ask was, what about people who are born in different parts of the world? Let's say like Africa or India or wherever it might be. They might be born in some village, but they might never heard of Jesus or never heard of the Bible. So what about these people? Like, what happens to them? And the reply I got from my pastor and mother wasn't so amazing. They said that, of course, they go to hell. So when I found that out, I wasn't so happy about that.
Well, did they tell him what happens to people who don't chant Hare Krishna? Who are in somewhere in the world where they don't hear the holy name of Krishna? What is he talking about? What it's no different than Hare Krishna. It's the same answer. If they don't hear the holy name of Hare Krishna, they're gonna have to take birth in a hellish planet or as a worm in stool. He hasn't figured that out. It's the same thing. Yet he's Giri Das now. This is mental illness, mental fucking illness at a young age. And this is what I'm saying. Let me come back. Mental illness, and this cult just injected mental illness right into his friggin' head. It was like, and he got a big dose, big friggin' dose of mental illness. Making up stories about how he joined. Oh, I was asking questions to my pastor and this and that, and it's like, I've heard so many of these stories and it's always the same, and I don't believe it. I just don't.
It's not so much philosophy there. So I became very dissatisfied. And I actually became an atheist. I kind of gave up religion completely after I found this out. Now, I wasn't against learning though. So as I was growing up, I had many friends from different backgrounds. Like I had most of my friends were Muslim actually. Muslim and Buddhist and whatever. Like I actually
What in God's holy name are you
in
blabbering
New Orleans,
about?
there's not many Indian people, so I actually never ran into an Indian until I went to Atlanta. But anyway, I went to school and I was very much into science, and I was very big in promoting atheism. Every time my mom would speak about Jesus, I would just tell her, no, this is not true at all. I said, what is this? It doesn't make any sense. So I was I like space a lot because, of course, scientists with their mundane knowledge, we get to understand everything. What
Mundane knowledge. He get him so wrapped up, like mundane knowledge, like just knowing stuff is like bad. It's mundane knowledge. It's like, oh, you know something? Well, that's mundane. Like, oh, you know how a building is built, or architecture, or how to draft, something. Well, that's mundane. That's just mundane. Like it's, I know, is mundane. And then he's gonna sit there like he's gonna say like he understands mundane knowledge. Like he's like he invented the term. It's like you're just repeating what someone else has said.
Is the whole world gone crazy? Am I the only one around here who gives a shit about the rules?
Oh man, it's there's channels on YouTube of Christians who are deconverting Christianity and no longer believing in Jesus or what they teach. Yeah, that happens to everybody. It's mundane, I know. It's like that's exactly what I think of. Whenever I hear that's exactly what I mean. Who uses the word mundane? Nobody uses that word. It's just not a word that's used to describe anything. You just wouldn't use that word. If I had to describe anything in the world to somebody, like, oh yeah, I would, I'd say ordinary. It was just an ordinary. It was just an ordinary piece of wood, or it was just an ordinary. Ordinary is fine. Mundane, I don't know. It's just like I don't know. It's just it's very culty. You hear the word mundane, or mundane knowledge, or or material world. You hear the term material world, and it's very culty. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, Rastafari. That's right. Rastafari is good enough for me. Okay, so let me see so we got this guy. So this is like Paz's brother. Okay, so Paz's brother, just like this guy, he just
We
got
can see.
sucked up into this shit.
So I was very much into this type of stuff. But then as time went on, I actually, most of my life, I never did anything per se. Like, I never did any partying or drugs or until later on, until I got to high school, like my last year of high school. And then once I came to high school, I got more and more friends from eastern part of the world. Like I said, most of my friends were Muslim. So like I was saying, I wasn't adverse to learning. So actually, that I like to learn. I wanted to know truths from all parts. So I wanted to learn about these.
Can you imagine like wanting to learn? Kind of. That's kind of how I was. I was always wanting to learn stuff, and then getting caught up in a pedophile cult that's all based on fake and phony and scriptures and in mythology. Because what's not phony and fake is just mythological. I mean, all mythology is made up, but the scriptures, like Bhagavad Gita and the Vedas and some Upanishads or whatever, those are actual scriptures. They're not, whether they're made up by somebody made them up, but they're not phony. Some of them, like I would say, the works of the Goswamis and maybe Bhaktivinoda Thakur and whatever. I don't know if those could be frauds and just plagiarisms and fakery. So to go from wanting to know the truth about life and history and knowledge and science and being a learner, and I want to learn this and I want to learn that, to going to and then joining a cult where everything is just based on mythology and lies and frauds and fakery. And that was one of the hangups that I had, was like I was too much into, like, I was into history and archaeology and knowing the truth and understanding, like, this is the oldest this and the pyramids and when writing was invented and all this stuff. And this Vedic culture just went against all of that knowledge, all of that basic history and archaeology, everything that we know. The Vedic culture goes against it. It's not real. It's just fake and it's not real. But you have to suspend it. You have to suspend it. Like Prabhupada says, just accept it or there's the door. So I want to get to
Eastern culture that my Muslim friends.
I want to get to where you get this book.
Were born into, because I already knew everything about Christianity, and I wasn't so satisfied with it. So I wanted to know about Islam and Buddhism and Taoism, whatever it might be. All this, all these other religions I wanted to know about. And when I was going to school, I had all these friends, and they would invite me over to their home, and they used to like tell me about Muhammad and the Quran. And actually, one time I went. It was Eid, and during Ramadan, actually, they used to get me to fast with them. So actually, I fasted for Ramadan when I was with them, and they also took me to the masjid. So I also went to the masjid, and they did namas, and they taught me how to do namas, and I had to like wash my feet and all that. I thought it was for me, it was like a different thing. So I was like, whoa, this is like pretty different. And what I took from that was that, even though it was completely different to me, I wasn't adverse to it. I thought it was actually very nice, actually. I can actually, in my mind, I wasn't going to accept the Quran, or I wasn't going to accept, because I was the atheist. But I could definitely tell that, okay, these people are more God conscious than Christian people, at least.
So you can see right there, like he got, he got a Quran. He was raised a Christian, but he didn't. It wasn't a cult, so it didn't brainwash him into Christianity because it's not a cult. I mean, it can be culty. It's all in how you let yourself, because you can't be brainwashed unless you want to be. You have to, you allow it to happen. So the Christianity didn't work on him. That wasn't because it's not real brainwashing. It's not like hardcore mind control. Quran didn't work on him either because it's not hardcore mind control. But you get one of these books, you get a hold of one of Prabhupada's books, that's the difference. That's the difference between just picking up a Bible and picking up one of Prabhupada's books. Whoops. There we go.
They have no culture at all. There's no etiquette at all when it comes to Americans. So I when I saw that, I kind of took aback, and I was like, okay. So as I hung out with them, I kind of became a little bit more God conscious. And so as I hung out with them more and more, I even though I was atheist, I was still saying Allah, and I would stuff like that. Like I would say Assalamu alaikum to them, like that. So over time, they would kind of preach to me a little bit. Now, I wasn't going to become a Muslim, but I was not adverse to learning what they had to say. So as time went on, I got other friends as I was in high school, probably my junior.
Okay. It's taken him a long time to just say, "Hey, I met some Hare Krishnas. I just want to know. I just want to know how he met them. Like, were they in class with him? Did he bump into him on the street? Did they invite him to a kirtan? Did he go to the restaurant? Did they? That's what I'm curious about. But of course, he's got to make his magical. He's got to make the magical mystery story. He's got to make it interesting. Like, I was on this journey. I was brought up this, and I went there, and then I found it like a pinball in a pinball machine, bouncing around from the Muslims to this, to that, and then finally, I can't take it anymore. I saw, what was this? He's a disciple of Hugh Turvey. Yeah, the Harry Potter pod. Harry Potter pod. Man. And you can see what he's got him doing. He's got him all out there doing this. Everybody's got to make a little video explaining how you came to Krishna consciousness. So Mike can just goof on you. I guess that's why he's doing it. Skull Mask Swami. I know, he's a Crypt Keeper Swami. Yeah, he was religion. He was religion shopping. He was probably, because I remember around the time, right before my daughter was born, I was like 24, 23, 24, 25. I was kind of, I wasn't searching for anything. I'm not going to make it sound like I was on this spiritual journey. I wasn't searching for anything, but I was always a reader. I was just a reader. So I came across some books, and I was reading, I had this book and that book. It's not a magical mystery. It's not a magical mystery story, but there comes times in your life where you're just looking at the world. Like I remember, I was brought up Catholic, but we weren't like devout Catholics. I remember like when I was about 21, 22, I actually was like, what is this Bible all about? Because we never read the Bible. We just went to church. And so I got curious about the Bible. I tried to read a little bit of it. I wasn't becoming a Christian. I wasn't going to church. I wasn't praying to Jesus or anything. I just opened it up to just read it to see what was in there, you know. And then I remember when I was at work, couple of years later, maybe around that same time, I had a coworker that was a Mormon, and she gave me this book, the Book of Mormon. And I took it home, and I was like, "What's this?" I read it. I was like, "Indians?" I was like, "American Indians?" And I put that down. I wasn't searching for anything. If I wanted to make up a magical mystery story, I could easily do that. But I wasn't searching. I just I came across this. I came across that. You know, so I can understand this guy kind of being being, you know, 18, 19, maybe 20 years old. You know, he meets some guys that he's hanging around, his friends. He's got some Muslim friends who read the Quran, and maybe he's got some Buddhist friends that are reading some Buddhist scriptures, and he's like, hey, you know, this is interesting stuff. You know, maybe he was looking, maybe he wasn't. What we do know is he found the Hare Krishna. That's what we know. I came to Krishna Cult by being scammed and conned into buying a book. Who did you buy? Who'd you buy it from? Did you meet him on the street, or what was going on? See a friend. This guy just gave me a book. I didn't buy it. He just gave it to me. He's like, here's a book. Read it. And I was like, oh, hey, thanks a lot. And that was kind of the scam. Was he was like, because he wrote in the book. He's like, here, to my friend Mike, you know, enjoy or whatever. And he gave it to me. And I was like, oh, wow, you gave me this book. And it was a nice book. And I kind of felt obligated to at least open it and read a little bit. And I did. I was like, oh, you know, let me read a couple pages of this. And I got into it. And next thing you know, here I am bitching about these child marriage. Yeah. So I'm done with that guy. Yeah, this Bhakti Vikash, man, he's a scammer. He's one of these scammers. So let's see. I want to end where we started. I want to end where we started from. We're gonna go back to the beginning, and we're gonna go back to the beginning, and show you what this cult will do to you if you're in it for too long. You can end up like this.
My beats.
Yes. Read chapter 1 of chapter 1 of Bhaja Leela.
We're gonna have a little. We're gonna have a little class. Okay. She's gonna cry and laugh. I don't know. I don't know where I should go for this class. Maybe I should go. I should go over here.
Okay. Oh, all glory to you, Guru Maharaj. All glory to
all glory to you, Srila Guru Dev. Do you believe this shit?
All glory to Srila Guru Haridas.
Oh, she's laughing and crying already. She can't control herself. She's already
all glory to
You know, people they want, you know, they want the eggs instead of the goose. And I'm teaching the opposite. Get the goose.
Hey, how you doing?
The eggs.
Check Queen of Karmas. Check out this scammer.
Everything.
This is a real scammer right here.
This way of worshiping the Lord. That's why this needs to be priority. This you prioritize this because it'll give you all these other things. You know, a devotee that gets close to Lord Krishna by following this path and getting this mercy here, you get the benefit of being a religious person. Look what they got to do to be religious or looked at as religious, and get titles even, right?
Yeah, this is what it
religious
does. This is
titles,
what it
Bhaktivedanta
does.
and everything. And look, you guys, of course,
Look
these
at him. He's
others
trying to
don't
make. He's going to
accept,
try and make
but those
sense.
who are here, you give titles, you give respect, you call Gohari Maharaj and all of that. And I didn't do any of those things, those hard things those people do. I'm just an ordinary person, but I still get the titles. Why? Because the scriptures are really true. Nectar of Devotion teaches when you're engaged in pure devotional service, if it's really real.
Oh my goodness. He said he just gets the titles and they call him Guru Dev and Maharaj. It's not, it's just, that's just the way it is. He didn't do anything. He didn't, he didn't do anything.
You get the benefit of economic development, which I get. I get the benefit of religiosity. I get religious titles, and people call me Maharaj. What kind of Maharaj? What kind of renunciation do I do? What kind of sannyas practices do I do? They got to do all those things to get the title Maharaj. To get a Bhaktivedanta title, they got to do all these fire sacrifices and do Vaidhi and be appointed Bhaktivedanta. But
he doesn't have to do any of that. He's oh, my evil twin. He doesn't have to do any of that. He doesn't have to do any of that because he just dreams that he's a guru, and he became a guru because he dreamed it. And now he's got these knuckleheads following him around, calling him Maharaj and Guru Dev, and he loves it. And this is what this cult will do to you. It'll drive you insane to where you think that you're some kind where you think you're some kind of guru, some kind of, I know, it is absolutely bonkers. Absolutely bonkers. But I gotta finish up. Let me see. Where did he go? Okay, here he is. So I gotta finish up. Let's take one more look. Wait a minute. Let's go back over here because this is gonna be good. Let's take another look at him here.
You get the benefits of everything and liberation. You just automatically liberated and don't even think about it. And people are struggling to follow the path of liberation. Very hard. Everything is hard. Economic development.
So there he is today.
Of my devotees know exactly who I am, what I am, and how I exist. But the essence is, if they worship me with unalloyed pure love, they are the best of my devotees. Do you know that Saint Francis of Assisi also thought anybody else other than Jesus and was a false representation of God? But yet Saint Francis of Assisi is known as a great saint, has the qualities of a Vaishnav. Yet he didn't believe that Krishna was God. There's even I read this. He thought anything else, any other conception.
So as you can see, this guy's been pulling this scam for a long time. Yeah, it's the same guy. It's the same. It's the same guy. Let me. It's the same guy. Let's go back over here so you can get a good look at him here. Let me see. It's the same guy. It's the same guy. There he is. Oh my God. It's the same guy. It's the same. Oh my God. It's the funniest thing ever. It's the funniest thing ever. He has been doing this scam. He's been doing this scam for a long time. He's been doing this scam for a long time. Oh, that is funny. That he's I read this, so it must be true. Exactly. That's what this guru was trying to say. They said, hey, they asked this guru went to Harvard. Are the scriptures real? Or or just interpretation? Is it historical, or is it just, not? And he couldn't answer. He couldn't answer because he was like, well, it took him a half an hour to not answer. I know him from when he was younger, from watching so much about this. I've seen him, but didn't realize now. Yeah, it's funny. It's so funny. When I saw that, I just started laughing because it just shows you. He at one time he was a Hare Krishna. He was trying to be a Hare Krishna, and he couldn't do it. And he probably wanted to be a guru, or he wanted whatever. And he said later days, and he went to this Narayan Maharaj character, and he tried to be a guru there, and he couldn't do that. And now he had a dream. I have a dream. I have a dream. He had a dream. And the guru in the dream said that, yeah, you can be a guru. And so now he's a guru. And, you go from, you can go from this to this. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. That's like one of the best laughs I've had in a long time. And, I'm happy. I'm happy about it, that I can laugh at this guy, because this guy he's harming people. He's harming these people. It's just shit's too funny. Shit's too funny, man. I know. I'm not the only one. I'm not the. Save me. I know. I know. I know. As soon as I saw that, dude, I was like, what the fuck? Some guy recently wrote a funny article about how if Hare Krishna is a cult, he'll be out of a job because he works for the magazine. In it, he argues they aren't a cult. Yeah, I know. It's funny because it's funny how they argue that they're not a cult, because everything that they argue about is that they are a cult. Like they're like, well, we don't have a cult leader. Yeah, you do have a cult leader. We don't have this and that. No, yeah. We you can question. No, you can't question. They want to deny everything about them that makes them a cult that they do. They go, no, we don't do that. And they do every they do every single one. They do every single one. In fact, there's an article from one of the leaders of the Hare Krishnas. He went to a cult seminar and was confronted with the fact that they do everything that they're talking about. And so he came back and he wrote an article about how although we do all the stuff that they say is cultic, we're not a cult. I just want to remind you that we're not a cult. Even though we do everything that they say, we're not a cult. And I did a video a while back about that. The guru in the dream said he could be a guru, so now he's a guru. That's what he did. That's what happened. That's what happened. I know. It's like, how do I get these imaginary people to come validate my fantasies in my dream? It's a lot of work. That takes a lot of work. You gotta have a dream where the right imaginary person shows up and then tells you the right thing. That's not easy. That's not easy, man. Like, just getting what are the chances that he has a dream and Prabhupada says, no, you can't be no, you can't be a guru. No, I changed my mind. I was gonna let you be a guru, but since you having this dream about me, I said ixnay on the ixnay on the guru. They do online initiations. They absolutely do. How do I get these imaginary people to come and validate my fantasies and my dream? I know that is so. Oh man, I hope you like my smoky laugh. Okay, I really do. Yes, we just dream it. I have a dream, like Martin Luther King. I have a dream. I have a dream. These guys are so funny. He wrote, yeah, absolutely, yes, he did. He wrote the article to convince himself. Yes, absolutely, absolutely, absolutely. So, hey, thanks, man. Thanks for being here, Don. Everybody, I want to thank everybody for being here. Greg and Eliana. Eliana's probably gonna be my new moderator. Queen of Karma. Yeah, you know what? You gotta interview somebody that's had a dream and get the details on how you get initiated by dream. That's pretty funny. Queen of Karma and everybody, 6781 and Rafal and Jai Ganapati and even what was that guy's name that came in here? Harry. Harry the pedophile, and Rafal, my producer, of course, and Weird Planet and Fake Human, and everybody, all of you, man, you guys are the great, and Prabhu Nuts, and everybody. I want to thank you all for coming in. Have a great day, great night, great morning, great evening, great afternoon, everything. Have some great luck. Please stay out of a cult. Everybody, please hit that like, share, and subscribe, man. I need like 5 more subscribers to get over the hump. So I'm right there, man. I'm right there. So hey, so thank you so much. It was so much fun today. I can't wait for the next one. And for all of you watching for the first time, or maybe the second time, this is me a long time ago when I was once in the Hare Krishnas. All right, everybody.